What does self-care mean for you as a dad, as a man? When you hear that term, what comes to mind for you? Do you think it's a luxury? Do you think it's a necessity? Is it something that you haven't even thought about? And I think I'm really passionate about this topic when it comes to fatherhood because we get shunned or we get looked at as quote unquote soft when we are taking care of ourselves, not just internally, but also our physical appearance. And I think this video, I really want to talk about the importance of self-care as a father and why it not only nourishes us internally, but it will also help our children, our families. So when I think about self-care, the first thing I want to talk about is why we should redefine that, right? Because society's expectations of men when it comes to self-care is we always got to be rugged, you know what I'm saying? On my podcast, I said something to the effect of we got to have some dirt on our beard. And it's like at the end of the day, there's a time and a place for everything. There's a time and a place to thug it out, rugged, but there's also a time and a place to really nurture your own well-being, right? By looking at ways that we can feel good about ourselves as men, as fathers. So when I think about self-care, I think about 5 areas: mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, and social. I'm probably going to break down all aspects of that. I might not go into the order that I just said it because obviously I'm just speaking from the heart. So I think the first thing I do want to talk about is physical self-care and what that can look like and how we can infuse that into our day-to-day lives. For me, the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to physical self-care as a dad is the gym, right? I'm sure that comes to no surprise. And we can sit here and talk about all the scientific data and all the research that shows how lifting weights 3 to 4 times a week can positively impact your life length and all of that stuff, your longevity. But at the end of the day, I lift weights because A, it's proving that I can do hard things, but B, I just want to be confident. I want to feel confident. I want to look confident, and I want to take care of myself. All the extra added stuff that all the research says, that's just an added benefit. At the end of the day, it's about, do you love yourself enough to take care of your body? You know, like, you love your body for what it looks like right now. When you go in the mirror, like, love that version of you, the version that is 10 pounds up than what you want to be. Love that version of yourself, because at the end of the day, that's the same version of you that's going to improve. So that version of your body got you to take care of your kids. That version of your body brought you to work. That version of your body helped you show up for you and your responsibilities. So you can uniquely love your body for being how it is while trying to improve it at the same time. So when I go to the gym, these days, I don't go to the gym thinking, oh man, like I want to lose some belly fat. I got this dad bod. When I go to the gym, I'm actually going to escape and to recalibrate my mental. And looking good and looking confident in clothes just comes as a byproduct of that. So definitely prioritize going to the gym. As a man, as a dad in this society, that is something that you should definitely be doing because it takes care of you on all levels. The second one is, I walk. Just go take walks. Once again, we all know, you can all research the health benefits of going on walks. We know that. But what I like to do is go on walks to clear my mind, to decompress, to think about certain types of issues that I'm having at home, at work, with my business. And oftentimes I go on walks, and that actually gives me, walks and being in nature, those things gives me the answers. It like provides the answers for me while I'm on walks. I don't even bring my phone with me. And then the last thing I would say when it comes to physical is this one no one wants us to talk about as men, but grooming. It's really important. I remember like 2019 or something. That's when I first got into using facial cleansers and moisturizing my face. I just randomly thought about this one day. I was like, why am I using the same soap that everybody is like putting their hands on? And then I started researching like just proper ways to groom myself. And I'm like, why have I not been doing this? There's like a whole population of guys out there that are parents and go-getters that are actually taking the time to groom. And I'm like, why am I not doing this? Like, why would I ever not do this? And ever since then, it's been like 6 years. I have a really consistent grooming routine, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy. I get a facial cleanser, I moisturize my face, and I put on some sunscreen. It's pretty simple. I may add a serum. I do my facial cleanser, I definitely add a serum in there. So it's like a 4-step process, but it takes 5 to 6 minutes to do these things. So just take care of yourself, look good, feel good. On my podcast, I joked about this, but that girl that you love so much, that you got a crush on so much, if you're in a relationship, you're married, whatever, your wife, your spouse, you know why you love her? You love her because she takes care of herself. Right? You know how long it took her to do her hair properly and make sure her skin is glowing, right? And that's why you love her, because she presented herself really well. When you first saw her, you couldn't take your eyes off her. Why would you not want that for yourself? Just think about that. As a man, why would you not want that for yourself? So physical, those are the 3 big areas I think as men we should not be afraid to include in our daily rituals. Something else is the mental. So for me, the mental is all about, what am I letting in here? And what boundaries am I setting? For what type of content do I not want to get in here? So for me, I always stress reading, right? I read about 10 to 20 pages a day. Sometimes depending on the day, I can get lost in a book, right? And it doesn't have to be everything self-development and everything. Whatever just clears your mind, if you want to read a fiction, a thriller, that's great. Me personally, I read a lot of books on self-development, self-improvement, and spirituality, right? Because I feel like that's adding to who I want to be. That's adding to how I want to show up in the world. So I read a lot of those books. The next thing when it comes to mental is, what are you blocking out, right? So are you super, super addicted to social media? I know I've been there. Are you scrolling for 45 minutes? I know I've done that. How can you set boundaries so you're not watching the news 24/7, right? So like poison isn't being ingested into your mind, because that, believe it or not, affects how we show up for our children. It affects how we show up at the workplace, in our business, and just in our day-to-day lives, the type of information that we're letting in. I was at my house and like my sister and my mom, like they were like talking about something, and I go, oh, what y'all talking about? And based on the topic that they were talking about, I already knew that I didn't want to be a part of that conversation. I said, oh, never mind. You know what I mean? Because it was just some gossip, and it was just some things. I'm like, you know what? I don't really necessarily want to be a part of this conversation. So what are you making sure? What boundaries are you setting that you don't want it to penetrate your mental? Next one, I think it was emotional, right? Yeah. So for emotional, man, that is all about being aware. That's all about self-reflection. I am a huge journaling addict. I will swear by journaling, and I will swear by being able to be okay with being vulnerable on the paper, getting my emotions out. How was today? Man, what happened today? Today I had this argument with my son, and he ended up texting me and he apologized to me. Damn, like, I'm giving you a real story. Like, how does that make me feel? It makes me feel good. You know why? Because when I was in the 7th grade, I never apologized to my dad for anything. But why did my son apologize? I'm not going to take all the credit, but I think it's because he sees me apologize to him when I go overboard sometimes. I think it's because he sees me being vulnerable with him. He sees me being vulnerable with my friends. So he's, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to, despite how I feel, I'm going to apologize for my part to my dad, for my part in this argument, in this conversation, right? Taking care of yourself emotionally is key. I promise you, it's key, because you are then able to reflect on whatever it is that's bothering you, and how can you grow from that. You never find out how you can get better from something if you're not even aware that it's what's taking place, and you're also not aware of why it's even taking place, the roots of it, where it started. Emotionally taking care of yourself and being okay with that. I'm not really here for men are not supposed to be emotional. We're all emotional beings. We're everything. We're emotional. We're tough. We're empathetic. empathetic, we're leaders, we're masculine, we're feminine. We are everything. And as a dad, we need to start embracing that as men, as dads, because that's how we truly connect. That is how we truly connect on a level with our children and our families that don't put us in this box. When my son gets in trouble, I don't want to be in a box of, oh my God, don't tell my dad. I would rather be in a box of, okay, I know my dad's probably going to keep it real with me, but I also know he's going to empathize. I also know he's going to hear me out. He's going to be understanding. And that's what you want to be. And that's why you want to take care of yourself emotionally, because you are able to now give that value to others, especially your kids, right? Because you want to be quote unquote better, for yourself, but also for your children. The next thing, spiritually, for me, spiritual is I sit and I meditate and I just give gratitude to source power that is higher than me. Some people will say God, the universe, whatever you want to call it. For me, it's source. And I think I'm an extension of that. And I just sit in meditation. That could be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever the day calls for. And I'm like, yo, man, I really have gratitude for whatever is going on today. I have gratitude for the things I've overcome. I have gratitude for the problems I'm going to encounter, because I know they're going to make me a better person, a better man. So I am, people, they know I'm really in tune with like Eastern spirituality. That's what I resonate with. And there's a Buddhist phrase that basically says like everything is impermanent. And what that means is everything is going to change. Nothing stays the same. I think I was bringing it up because that has helped me overcome a lot of things that I'm perceiving as disappointments, a lot of things that are maybe going the way that I thought I didn't want it to go. Nothing will stay the same. Everything will change. Once we accept that, we handle the disappointment so much better. So whatever that looks like for you, whether that's you reading your Bible, if you read a Bible, if that is you just giving thanks for everything you have around you and just knowing that there is something out there that is, you are an extension of it, but it's bigger than you, right? It's a collective. And something else I want to talk about when it comes to spirituality is being spiritual has helped me be compassionate with everybody, not just my son, myself. It has helped me be compassionate with a random stranger that may be down the street, that may be around the corner. I may run into somebody at the store. It has truly helped me be compassionate, because when you get into a spiritual journey and a spiritual ritual, you start to realize that this person is your brother. This person is your sister. You start to realize that we are all going through the same thing, and we're all just this bundle of awareness. I treat a random person the same way I would treat my son, the same way I would treat my mom. And I don't discriminate based off of your height, what you look like, your race, your gender. I don't care about that. I care about the spirit inside of you. And I know we all have that same spirit. Spirituality has not only helped me, it has helped how I perceive the world, it has helped how I parent, but most importantly, it has helped how I treat others. And the last one is, and I'm gonna be real with you, I decided to do this video outside. My hands are freezing. So we gonna get to this last one and we might have to end this video. So the last one for me, man, is social. And that's big, right? That is, what can I do to go outside? What can I do to get some time with the homeboys, with my friends? What can I do to escape the madness and to be okay with escaping the madness? That's the thing. You don't want to feel guilty for wanting some time to decompress. Like, I'm single, but I know some people are married, and it may be hard for you to just get up and go hang out with the fellas. I would just recommend working that out with the missus, you know what I mean? Working that out with the spouse, working that out with the partner. Hey, I really need some time to hang out with the fellas and just decompress. I prioritize that. It's not, for me, it's not an everyday thing. At some point, once or twice during the month, I want to connect in person. I want to connect with my friends, and I want to have a social life. You can take care of what you have to take care of at home and not feel bad about wanting to hang with the fellas, because these are things that are filling our cups. So when it comes to self-care, it doesn't have to look a certain way. Whatever that energizes you and fills your cups in any of these 5 areas, that's what I would recommend that you tap into. And that's it for today. Like I always say, the universe is made up of 99.999% light. So with that being said, I am sending you all nothing but light. And also have to tell you, this video did come from my 365 Dad, the prompt. The inspiration for the video did come from a prompt in my 365 Dad journal. Link in the description of this video. I created a journal called the 365 Dad. It has 365 prompts that I wrote based off my own experiences as a dad. It helps dads with mindfulness, self-awareness, communication, and building community. So go check that out, and until next week.